Greetings, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Crisis in the Kremlin. Looking over quickly all the finances, doing okay on that. Debt is repaid, we have money in the reserve. Loyalties still looking shabby, but they're much better than they were earlier. I think we're gonna be good. Everything is quiet right now. It's quiet. Profit's going down a little bit, but we have science. And every turn we're getting a little bit of it. So that should be fine as long as we can keep money high enough with resource extraction. And indeed, going to give as much money to technology as possible because we are so close. They have a 5-year plan. Wait, what? Didn't we just make a 5-year plan? Hang on. Did I forget to did I forget to do a thing? Did I forget to save before? No. No, this is definitely weird. It's definitely very strange, yeah. Political power went down, so that's bad. Ooh, civil war in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, our loyal African ally, is defeated by the rebels. Mengistu Haile Mariam, the ruler of Ethiopia, had to fulfill some of the demands and install a pseudo-democracy instead of the old authoritarian regime. He is opposed by a united opposition which has chosen democratic socialism as their ideology. Rebels gained power because of the hunger and death of thousands of civilians, which took place after all state money was spent to celebrate 10-year anniversary of Derg, while the country suffered from famine. Yeah, we can't help Mengistu. We're not going to let it be. We're going to just negotiate with them because if they want actual democratic socialism, that's fine. I just hope that doesn't mean social democracy, because in the former case, you do actually want socialism just by democratic means, instead of by violent revolution, if I remember correctly. But social democracy is just wanting capitalism but have it be regulated and stop some of the worst parts of it. So, let's see. After contacting Melis Zenawi, we assured him that we will stop aiding Mengistu and help him to seize power in the country in exchange for leaving Ethiopia and the socialist camp and leaving our military base. Zenawi fully supported our idea and even got economical freedom from us. Mengistu fled Ethiopia and rebels gained power and began left market reforms, while saying authoritarian Soviet political system. First ruler with whom Zenawi met after gaining power was you. That's nice. Pretty nice, I think. And we're gonna make sure we have a little bit of money. Keep going. The significant meeting. The GR leader is going to meet with the FRG leader first time since 1950. It's not our initiative. We could frighten him, or we could initiate his resignation. I mean, really, I don't see any reason to be worried about meeting the leader, but the problem is that it has to be on our terms. You have to meet with them not as trying to unify the country, but as saying, hey, this is what we want. It's kind of like the detente, where we had to make concessions for the United States. I'm sure GDR is trying to make concessions with the West, which is the problem. We'll try to find them. After discontent was handed comrade the leader of the GAR, he's referring to his health, had to cancel the meeting. After 3 days, the meeting of the People's Chamber signed a declaration conferring the sovereignty and integrity of the GDR. Speaking of detente, actually remind me that we have to get Brezhnev's policy back up. Chinese example. Now when one of socialism's strongholds China has fallen, we should think about the reason of this fall, so we won't be on the same place. What's the lesson? OGAS will lead to the victory of the socialistic system. I genuinely think that's probably what's going to happen. So let's see what this says. China's example shows the importance of information technologies and mass automation. Soviet apparatus gives support to the university cybernetics with a hope of fast and good results. Opposition is being quickly and mercilessly eliminated. So you will be saved despite all the odds. Is that... Okay, I don't know if that actually does anything, but... Oh my god. We just suddenly got OGAS. So I'm going to save the game right here. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen right now. OGAS. Now when the optimization of the administration is taking place, should we use ECM to reduce the bureaucratic apparatus? Yeah, bureaucracy is a thing of the past. The reduction of state apparatus began because of the upcoming introduction of OGAS. But won't put you in danger? Let's see what happens. Though first, now we don't need technology that much. I do this. Give money to the treasury. And go back to our thing of getting resources. Because we most certainly need it right now. Now our army is increasing. Loyalties of generals in KGB is decreasing. So what we're going to do is finally increase the envelopes for both of them. Stalinists demand reforms. Opposing factions with similar views thinks that your leadership is not democratic and demands your retirement because your policies aren't suitable for our time. I think we're going to use the KGB against them. KGB agents did their usual work, bribed someone, killed someone, blackmailed someone, made him change his opinion. During the session, your opponents didn't say a word. The loyalty of KGB pretty low because we just had to use them. That's very bad. But with any luck, we'll be able to reverse that. Corruption is very high. That's very bad. But, forget OGAS. It'll all turn around, I think. Serbian communities. During Tito's reign in Yugoslavia, policy of natural resettlements in order to evade ethnic conflicts was taking place. However, Tito is dead and lost Serbian communities reigned both in Croatia and Bosnia. Now, after a change of situation in the country, new clerical Bosnian government and Croatian leaders who were supporters of Ustase began cultural and ethnic discrimination of Serbians. It led to a new armed national conflict. I think that we need Serbian autonomy, definitely. Because you can't be discriminating against ethnicities. That completely contradicts the socialist and communist view that every nationality, or the nation question basically, every nationality or group of people should have their own nation to represent them. And I think Yugoslavia is fine for representing the various people over there, the Croats, the Bosnians, and the Serbians. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think that if they just have autonomy like we have our republics, it'll be fine. We diplomatically support Serbians' rights for autonomy and oppose the idea of independence. The West saw it as a compromise and to show peacefulness and save the integrity of countries which oppose Milosevic by stopping their destabilization, support our idea. Peace in Serbian communities is present once again. So I think we handled that very nicely right now. Gonna send some weapons over to Afghanistan. And let's see, secret agreement. Opposition, while referring to the Western information, demanded to fully declassify the KGB archives on the pact of Molotov-Ribbentrop and also declassify some secret agreement. However, we completely deny the existence of the secret agreement. Well, West says otherwise. What should we do? I'm not sure what this is referring to. Like, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a non-aggression pact between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. The secret agreement part, I would assume, is the fact that the Soviets and the Germans made a sphere of influence, and they cut Poland in half, where the Soviets got the eastern portion and the Germans got the western portion. Now, the thing about it is, people assume that means that the Soviets plan to invade Poland with the Germans. And that's not all what happened. The goal was that the Germans would scare the Polish, and by taking the west, the eastern half would be controlled by a government that's horribly afraid and would seek the protection of the Soviets and become a socialist republic. But that didn't happen. And so instead, the Germans decided, hey, we're going to keep pushing even past the bounds that we said we weren't going to. So the Soviets needed to go into Poland and stop the Germans from taking it all, for one. And just as well, the Polish government fled from Poland, I think, to Czechoslovakia, though no, not Czechoslovakia. Maybe? I forget. They fled to some other country because they were so afraid. And they weren't allowed to be a government in exile because that country was working with Germany. So it was kind of a state where Poland didn't really have a central government at the time. So it's a very confusing issue, I would say. Or not really confusing, but complex. Let's see, destroy a secret agreement, then declassify documents. Yeah, we can't lie to our people. I don't understand. Well, declassify the documents, I don't think that's fine. Or I do think that's fine, personally. USSR fulfilled the demands by declassifying all documents of Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. However, despite Western protests, Molotov checks didn't give any result. The secret agreement wasn't found. We managed to evade protests and keep our hands clean. Yeah, yep. And let's see. People are more loyal now. That's actually really good. I'm not entirely sure why they're more loyal, but they're more loyal. And we have more money now, which means we can give more money to the KGB. And corruption is decreasing. That's very good. We need to make sure the KGB is powerful and loyal. We also need to make sure that the soldiers are loyal. And also that the number of army remains high enough. Desert Storm. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait to annul some debts and gain additional income in order to save Iraq's economy, NATO defended its ally, and now they went to invade Kuwait to free it from Iraqi soldiers. The UN is preparing a resolution which will allow to use AIM methods against Iraq. Yeah, no, you can't just say, ooh, we're gonna be able to use any methods against Iraq. There has to be a process, otherwise what is even the point? After this initiative was successfully vetoed, Iraq and Kuwait, following the advice of our political advisor, were formed into the Arabic Federation with regional Marxist organizations. Great liberation helped Iraq to evade future post-war economic problems. So we profit a fair bit, though now we're probably going to have to do the detente. Ah, oh well. That is life. Right now, I think, yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode. And I'm trying to think of what technology should we get. I would say this, and maybe this, and then possibly even agriculture, but there's also the military tech right here, or right there, life militarization, which would be immensely helpful, though I think, if I remember right, OGAS really does let you win the game, or it might just be so good that you basically win the game. I forget, so we'll see. This video is going on long enough. I will see you next time.